These dream matches need to go down on the big stage. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 WWE matches that need to happen. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the active WWE roster and picking who should face who, either for the historical significance or because it'd be a damn good match. In all likelihood, some of these matches could very well happen soon, but the WWE should just get on with it. Number 10, Rhino vs. Bo Dallas. If only to pure mess with Jonathan Coachman's head. Just kidding. The real number 10, Shinsuke Nakamura vs. Brock Lesnar. It's a little remembered fact that these two faced each other in 2006 for the IWGP Heavyweight title back in New Japan, but these two certainly have history. Of course, that match ended in bitter defeat for the artist, but it's safe to say that Nakamura is not the man he used to be. Instead of being a rising talent in Japan, he's now a worldwide star with a heap of incredible matches in his catalogue. As long as it's not a squash match and Nakamura brings out some of his MMA background, this one could be solid. Number 9, Cesaro vs. Kassius Ohno. It's time for the Kings of Wrestling to face off. Making a name for themselves as one of the most dominant tag teams in the indie circuit, these lads held tag title gold in ROH, CZW, Chikara, PWG, you name it. But alas, Destiny sent them their separate ways, and now could be the perfect time to have them show each other all the moves they picked up ever since. And hey, while we're at it, let's have Sheamus and Ohno duke it out over who gets to keep their Swiss buddy. Number 8, Pete Dunne vs. Drew McIntyre. The aim for this one would be to bring the WWE UK Championship to the main roster. There's no doubt that these two could put on a great match, since Dunn makes magic out of everything he touches, but the real focus would be on the gold, and more notably, Drew winning it. With McIntyre now successfully becoming the UK champion, he could defend it against British stars on Raw, which would be a hell of a lot better than what they're doing with it right now. Number 7, Asuka vs. Kairi Sane. Yes, Kana and Kairi Hojo both honed their craft in Japan, but surprisingly the two have never had a match. So, what better stage than in the WWE? The two can have an awesome match that would show the world exactly what Joshi wrestling is capable of. There's every chance this match will be a classic, and may even light a fire under the rest of the female talent to compete at that level. Also, let's admit it, this would spark the waifu wars. Number 6, Daniel Bryan vs. Shinsuke Nakamura. Word is this one has already happened as a dark match for SmackDown events, but it also needs the full treatment. When Bryan retired, it was heartbreaking to think of all the dream matches he could be having with the active roster, but our prayers were answered with his WrestleMania return. So, being the most popular babyface in the company, why not put him against Nakamura with his devilish new persona? It could be a fantastically competitive match with enough investment from both the hardcore and casual fans. Number 5, John Cena vs. Samoa Joe. Despite being so vastly different in their styles and personas, there's always been a sort of link established between these two wrestlers. From Cena adopting the "champ is here" catchphrase to their mastery of the STF, but it actually goes way further back than that. The two both wrestled in the same developmental territory in the past and even crossed paths on occasion. Hell, you could even go as far as to say that these two are friends. So with all this history together, it should finally come to a head. Oh yeah, and it would be a fantastic match. Number 4, Daniel Bryan vs. The Miz. Here's one that will almost certainly happen soon, but we're fed up of waiting. They've faced each other in the past, but their rivalry was rekindled with Miz's constant goading. So when Daniel got back and Miz was drafted to SmackDown, the stage was set for their inevitable battle. But instead, they seem to be putting their hatred for one another aside to tackle their own bigger problems in the meantime. Like Big Cass. What? Number 3, AJ Styles vs. Seth Rollins. It's almost criminal that this one hasn't happened yet. The closest these two have gotten to a match was when they were on opposite sides of the Survivor Series, and that was just too much of a tease. It's becoming more and more evident that they're two of the best in-ring performers the company has to offer right now, with each of them putting on stellar matches on the weekly. Simply put, there's no way this one can fail. Number 2, Kurt Angle vs. Daniel Bryan. Okay, last Daniel Bryan dream match, we promise. But think about this. We live in a timeline where Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan, two of the best technical wrestlers in history, are on the active roster. This is the epitome of dream match. Despite both having a long history of neck injuries, you can bet they'll throw that out the window and absolutely tear the house down instead of playing it safe. The ankle lock versus the label lock. Make it happen. Number 1, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. This one will surprise very few. When Rousey entered the scene, people were anticipating a potential women's championship match between the two. It didn't happen, but we were treated to some alternative dream matches instead. You could even argue that they were both involved in the two best matches of this year's WrestleMania card. That's reason enough to have the two compete in the first ever WrestleMania main event between two women. If anyone can fill those boots, it's Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.